My name is Alicia Sapatic with the Ministry of Agriculture. Today we're talking about water quality for bison and different systems that bison can use. There are lots of water system options for bison producers, so we'll hear next about some different options that producers are using.
So all of our animals are watered off well water. We have two different wells that we use within the farmyard. And then we have pipelines that go out either to, half a mile across the field to summer watering pastures, or right at the yard we have heated water bowls for the winter. It's all connected to one of the two wells. This one here specifically behind me, we just put in this spring as part of our, our pasture expansion. So this for us is a summer watering trough. Again, there's about a quarter long pipeline that comes from the yard to here. The animals drink out of it. It's a nice big reservoir. So there's a big capacity of water there for watering during the hot summer months. Again, it's an old mining tire that's been refurbished with a float that refills automatically when the water level drops. So it keeps up really well with the animals that we run through this part of the field.
On our ranch we use all different types of watering systems. Winter months we use watering bowls within our corrals and stuff. Summertime in the pastures we use some natural water springs as well as dugout systems, and the very odd slough when we get lots of rain. Wintertime we like to use snowpack as our main water source for the bigger herds. If we don't have enough snow throughout the winter months, we try to cut as many holes in the dugouts as we can to make sure that the animals are getting enough water. Corral seasons, in the winter we use the heated watering bowls that seem to work the best. This is our main watering bowls. We have all these in all our corral systems. I really like these systems because the whole bottom is insulated and heated. It's got a very simple float as well as a needle valve system for bringing the water up into the trough. Very easy to maintain. The animals can beat the heck out of them and they take a beating and stuff. Not a lot of, as you can see, structure around it. And this particular pen we use our herd bowls is where they winter, and this is how the water trough is. And they don't seem to beat it up too bad.
For the cow herds, we found that bison are curious, and come winter they will like to all go on a dugout at the same time. So luckily we haven't had any wrecks, but what we have done is we've fenced all of our dugouts on the pastures that are real deep. One thing we found over the years though that probably is a little better than a dugout are these shallow potholes that have always been here. But from the old farming practices and stuff, a lot of them are they've kind of filled up with topsoil and stuff. So what we've done just before we redo a pasture is we'll use a loader or get a hoe in here and dig them down to the clay base and get rid of that 2.5 to 3 feet of topsoil, put it back, spread it back on the land. And then we have a real nice, probably about a 4-foot depth, safe year-round unfenced dugout that the bison really like. So I think if we were to do it over again, we probably would have done a little more of that and less deep dugouts. Although you do get a drought every, say, 15 years around here that you might need a dugout. So you do have to have some, but overall, I like these safe, shallow water sources for the cows. In a feedlot setting, clean water is a must. So every pen has a water bowl, at least one, and it's fed by the main farm well. And yeah, we don't need chelated mineral. We did a water test and it's all good. But yeah, in a feedlot, clean water is very important.
This is our off-grid solar and wind-powered water system. We use it at our gravel pit herd. Got a well drilling outfit in here. We found a really good source of water. We're about a mile away from any electricity. Getting power brought to the site was going to be very, very expensive. So I started looking at solar off-grid options. I didn't want to go with the conventional water trough, their own style. I wanted something a little bit bigger just due to the size of this herd and the fact that bison are pretty rough and tumble. I didn't necessarily want to trust plastic brittle plastic in the wintertime. So I went with the mining truck tire here, and so far it's held up really well. It's a large volume of water to heat in the wintertime, and we found that the bison, sometimes it even varies where you feed them on this quarter in the wintertime when they come up for water. Sometimes they'll come 2 days without drinking. So we had to put in a submersible propane water heater here to keep the ice free. The animals can break the ice, but the trouble I had was just to operate the float switch just so the pump would run. So it's not a foolproof system. It's about 5 miles away from our headquarters, so to monitor it all the time, we bought a cellular security camera, so I can bring up this app on my phone wherever I'm at in the world and see if the water is running or if the heater's working, or if there's any issues. So it works pretty handy.
We find in our ranch that the more knowledge that I know about what our animals are getting for water and within which pastures, that allows us to change our mineral packs and change on where the animals are spending the most of their time. We find that between our north and south pastures that there's a different water type, and that the animals seem to do a lot better in our southern parts with the natural springs and stuff versus the dugouts that we've dug in the north. So we just change up our mineral packs throughout the season for whatever our water is testing for that time.
Water quality can impact the gain of an animal in that if it's poor water quality, they reduce their intake of water, which subsequently reduces their intake of feed, and of course then reduces their gain and overall productivity. So it's really important to be monitoring water quality and being aware of what's in your water so that you can manage it appropriately. So there's a few different ways to test water. First, we can start with a conductivity meter, which basically tests the conductivity from which we can estimate sulfates. So that can be a quick snapshot if we need. For further testing or to establish a baseline, we can send it away to a laboratory. And so in Saskatchewan, we have a great relationship with the Roy Romano lab in Regina and are able to send water samples away for livestock producers with a premises identification number.